All right, I see you there. Excuse me, David. And
Howdy.
I can see you. And Eliana, good to see you in here, Eliana. Blakeney. All right, I still can't hear you, Andrew.
Oh, is it
There we
not?
go.
Not okay, cool. Sorry, I was keeping it
I can hear
muted.
you.
I'm outside and the road is not right by me, but it's not like not too far. I didn't have the best place to try to find to be quiet, so I'll just try to keep the mic muted.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but definitely jump in whenever you want to. Let's see. I don't know.
Cool, thank you.
See if anybody. It's great to see you, by the way. It's been, I guess, since 2000.
It's almost 2 years. Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was shoot, SonicCon 2023, I think. So
Yep.
there's Blakeney, good deal. Jody, how's it going? Jacob, Eliana, good deal. I'm not sure who else. I know several people were working and stuff. Excuse me, tonight. So but anyway, I wanted to talk audio drama a little bit. So, a lot of times I tell people, and Andrew, we can go over this at length when we sort of do a one-on-one, if you want to do that.
Yeah, all good, no rush.
Yeah. Just let me know whenever you're ready. I'm pretty flexible. Usually I encourage people to start with a commercial approach because in my experience, oh, hey, Wesley, what's going on?
Hey, guys.
I've found that I get tons of work for audio drama, video game animation from my commercial demo, but I don't get any stuff from, I only get animation from my character demo. Like I don't get audiobooks from that. I don't get narration from that. So it's like when you have a commercial demo, it helps you fish with a wide net, so to speak. So I always encourage people to sort of start there. But this is one niche little area that I think is a great spot to work on. And then in this group, I know for a fact there's lots of people that are interested in audio drama, not just in the voice acting of it, but in the production of it and the soundscaping and that sort of thing. I know two in here for sure with Blakeney and Wesley. We've talked about that. Excuse me, at some length. But yeah, I just wanted to open it up and say what kind of opportunities do you have that you're working on that other people in this group maybe could help you with? Maybe you're casting something, and obviously you can cast it anywhere you want to, but this is a great place to say, hey, I've got this female character. She's 40. She's she's a mean housekeeper. Can you please, I want some auditions. So this is a great place to do that. I've got some projects I'm working on, which I'll talk about. Wesley, you were working on some stuff. Blakeney, I know you're working on some stuff. So if you got something that you're working on, like tell us about it and that kind of thing. Tell us where we can come in and be a part of it. And then I'll talk about a little giveaway I'm doing, a little contest. Blakeney, you have any, you got any big plans? I still can't. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Say big plans. The main thing that I have had like floating around and I've worked on for a while, or the script part of it, is kind of like a little audio drama podcast. The kind of stuff, like I guess a brief like summary of it would kind of be like these two siblings kind of do like a little time travel thing and go back and like see like different historical events. So like
Okay.
the first like little script that I wrote was like I think it was for the Boston Tea Party. I think that was the first one. And then I have one like for Paul Revere's ride and like just different like historical like snippets. I have like I want to say I have like 5 scripts that I'm like these could be producible. I guess I definitely would like to cast it from this group. I definitely don't know anything about like sound designing or mixing it together. So that would be an area where I'm like, I don't know anything. So yeah.
Wesley is cheering silently behind his mic. We'll definitely come around to you, Wesley, because I think it would be cool to use this group as a way to, you know, a lot of us, and not everyone in here is a believer, but in the group, I think everybody on the call is a believer. But I want to do stuff that honors the Lord, and that gets people to inspect the claims of the Word of God for themselves, and it's do stuff that's good and decent and right, and that kind of thing. And so when I'm creating, I like to do that, and I'll mention a project I'm working on. But I think it would be so cool to have projects that we work on, and it's not just okay, well, I'm just going to read these lines, but it's you kind of believe the point of what the audio drama is trying to make. You know what I mean? I just think that's really cool. And excuse me. And for those of you that don't know Andrew Pickle here, he's like a highly trained stage actor. Like, and he would be, and I haven't ever heard you voice act like a reel or something, but I know that you would be awesome for casting mature, adult male kind of a thing, because we got a lot of younger voices in here. We also, here's a couple, here's an old war horse here that's been doing it a long time.
Well, and thank you. Just to give full disclosure, though, it's been 12 years, so I might be rusty, but
well, let's knock the rust off. Yeah.
No, I'm willing to jump in and go, but just full disclosure.
Yeah, if you've ever, if you know Andy Harvey, if you've ever heard any Lamplighters or anything, he's in The Hidden Hand, that kind of thing. He and Andrew go way back to in the acting. They acted a lot together and that sort of thing. So you've got a great pedigree as far as I'm concerned. And I look forward to hearing. I look forward to hearing you in stuff like we're doing here. Okay, so Blakeney, that is super cool. I would say, when you're ready, like just throw some castings in the little chat, and and obviously you don't have to cast from here, but that's one place you can post it, and it gives people like me, even if I don't get a part, I think an audition is never a wasted time, because it's making me break down the script. Okay, what's the thought process here? What's my take on this character? How do I bring it to life? That sort of thing. So it's always good training. So if you're posting casting calls in here, even if you don't cast it from the group, you're still helping people in the group get better at voice acting. And I think that's the point. Yeah. And okay, so Wesley, when you obviously we've talked about some stuff. What do you have by way of projects? And then obviously you've got a lot of experience with soundscaping and audio engineering, which can be a big boon to people in here.
Okay, well, first, hi everybody else. I have seen profiles, but now actual people. Bravo, very nice. Yeah, let's see. So I went to college initially for stage acting, which I love, and I did do a lot of those classes, but at the time I really wanted to do voice, but at that time I'd already put in so many hours with what I was doing. I was like, well, I don't want to transition colleges or anything, so I added like sound and video editing and that whole side of things. So yeah, I'm ideally I would love to be voice actor full time. That's what I've been trying to do. But in the meantime, of course, I did spend 6 years gaining a degree, which included which included the audio editing. So day to day, I normally I'm the initial pass editor on a podcast that my friends and I run, which is a tabletop RPG, where I get to play a character, which is so like any excuse to like someone hands me a character, or especially in the case of RPGs, you get to build the character, which is like character creation in RPGs is one of my favorite things in the world. It's like literally within the rules of the game, you can build whatever you want, and it's so fun. But yeah, I was talking to Jake recently, and because like as far as YouTube, I've been thinking about this myself, but I like years and years ago I had a YouTube channel, but it wasn't focused on voiceover. It was just basically like anything and everything that I thought people would like, and it wasn't really focused or meant to be like I wasn't thinking of it as this is a professional outlet that I can use, right? Because I'd grown up watching, you know, ridiculous stuff on YouTube where because I mean, I remember the chocolate rain video. Okay, I remember when YouTube was just starting, and I was talking to Jake, and I was like, "Well, have you had really like good success with YouTube?" And he was like, immediately, he can attest to this. He was like, "Oh yeah, not only make your own stuff, but put it on YouTube. Do it." So. So I've actually been in talks with an artist friend of mine because I've decided I'm going to rebrand my YouTube, and it's going to have a production name. The whole thing is going to be such and such productions, which I you know, I kind of want to make it a big reveal when it's all ready. I'm in the middle of making it pretty right now, but it's going to be where every completely independently, because if you guys didn't see it, I can't remember where exactly I posted, but there was a drama that I posted was produced by Iridescent Acorn Productions. They're a very small drama company, but they produced a script that I had written, and I put it here, and it was the first script I never had produced, which was awesome. And I remember thinking, when I went through, since they were producing it, they got to pick the actors, and having heard the auditions, there was a particular audition that I liked for the character. But then when I got the final cut, I was like, oh, they didn't pick the guy I would have picked. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not the producer, so I won't yell. That's not my problem. But it just kind of reaffirmed to me, like, well, wait a minute. If I did it myself, I could pick who I wanted, and it didn't ruin the story or anything, but it was just like, I think this guy over here would have been slightly better at it. And so right now, what I'm doing as far as script, you might have seen yesterday, I kind of impromptu, I jumped into this, and I did basically a work session, which once again, I will say, Jake, thank you so much for like starting this group at all, because having this group, like knowing that it exists and I'm a member and there are people that will back and forth me about this, that actually makes me more motivated to actually sit down and write things, because I've discovered that for me, at least, the hardest part is either starting it from the beginning or coming back to it after being gone. And for some reason, my brain, it just like, it doesn't always work as well to like, oh boy, I have to start it again. Oh, man. But then I get into it and it's like, oh, look, it's been 3 hours and I've written and I didn't even notice because I was having so much fun. Anyway, yes, I have a project going right now, a script I'm writing that will be, I believe, the first video in my rebrand. And it's the focus of the channel now, hopefully, is going to be like original works by me, and then either in novel form, like, you know, I'm reading them aloud, but I'm including not like full novels, but like stories I've written that are, because I've discovered there is, if you grow up doing writing in novel form and then you have to switch to script format, that messes with your head, because all of a sudden there are so many things that you can do in novel form that you can't really do in the other format. So but just so I don't have to abandon it entirely, I'm thinking I'm going to do a combination of scripted, you know, audio drama style, hopefully fully casted with music and sound effects and everything. I'm going to make them as good as I can, and then probably also like audiobook formatted, with someone just reading them. But I was talking to the artist I'm having to do my logos and stuff, and then and she asked me, she was like, well, is it just going to be originals, or would you take submissions? And I thought, well, I mean, I wouldn't be against taking submissions if people want to send me stuff, and then I was like, well, I'd probably do them separately as like something separate but on the same channel, and then I just say, this is by so and so. But I just love that idea too, because I was like, well, I get to promote my stuff and then possibly help other people promote their stuff too. Ooh, that's a cool idea. I like that. But yeah, sorry, go on, Jake.
Well, I was sorry to interrupt. I was going to mention something, because to go along with what you're saying, I think as a voice actor, I really think it's important to have and I believe this by the day. And today I got some news from the business world that said, I told you, you better be doing it. Fiverr, which I'm a fan of, I encourage everybody to be on Fiverr, they laid off 30% of their workforce today because they are going all in on AI. Right.
I saw something about that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's big. So I just think that you need not only your voice, and I think there will always be like a market for a human voice from a living, breathing soul
person. Yes.
However, I think it's important to have a social media presence that's just, so you have the voice, let's say, in which some crook could clone without your permission. There's nothing you can do about it, really. But they can't clone 5,000 videos of you going live every other day. You know what I'm saying? That they can't do that. And so when you have a personality tied to your voice, I just think that's going to make you more valuable. So in your case, let's say, Wesley, let's say you have, one playlist is, these are finished audio dramas. Boom. Another playlist, you might have how to make audio dramas. And there you are saying, okay, let's talk about sound. When you're doing sound, you want to make sure you're doing this, you're doing this. Here's an example of a good sound. Here's an example of a bad sound. Don't do this. All right. So now not only are you teaching, but you're presenting yourself as the subject matter expert in a field like that. And then people are not just consuming your finished product, but they're coming to you for many other reasons than just the audio drama. Well, and then let's say you go live and do, quick Q&A, audio drama Q&A. What do you want to know? Well, I'm doing this. What do you think you ought to do? You as you build an audience, you could, basically you're AI proofing yourself, or, not that we're trying to fight AI, because I think that's a useless battle. But I think, it would be good to sort of make it where AI doesn't just replace you because someone pulled a soundbite and trained an AI thing, and now that's all you had. You've got a whole YouTube channel, all that kind of thing.
I'll be 100% honest. It's been 6+ years since college, and 5+ years making the podcast, and I'm still learning stuff. I still encounter people that know more about my own DAW than I do, which is only because it's a terribly customizable and I only use it for not even half the stuff it can do. But I mean, perhaps one day I'll consider myself expert. Definitely not yet, but maybe.
I think that you probably are 100 times further down the road than your average bear. You might, I'm sure people that know more than you, but don't worry about that. I would say, tell what you know. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you have to call yourself an expert. Like I'm Wesley, the audio guru. But just if you show up and answer questions, people will quickly think of you like that. Like, well, let's ask Wesley, because he's he does that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I am very interested. I was talking art and logo ideas last night with my artist buddy, and I was just like in my head, I'm seeing the finished product already, and I'm like, I know it's not there yet, but I'm super hyped. I get to do logos and everything. Anyway,
That's really
But
cool.
yeah, I'm also just trying to network in general with people, which is another reason why I joined this group, because
Yeah.
I'm I have my website where all my all my goodies are, all my and Jake, I think you if I recall, I think you visited while we were on the call, but more often I need to figure out, for some reason, my when you search it in Google, it doesn't come up. Like if I give you the direct link, it'll show up, but for some reason, if you Google it, it doesn't come up. I need to figure out why. But it might be because I have the free account or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
but more often than not, I'll listen to those, and a lot of people know where I am, but more often than not, I'm having to give out cards for people, being like, "Hey, here's all my info."
Yeah.
Um,
Um, okay, so from everybody in this room, I know, Blakeney, you're set up. Your studio's set up, right? Okay. Jody, yours is set up. Jacob's is set up. Andrew, what is your recording situation?
Currently, it is pretty much I just have a laptop and there's some gear that I don't know if is qualified for doing this work. So it may be starting from zero practically.
Okay, I would say for this, like what we're talking about in this group anyway, use that. You know what I mean? Like we don't need fancy equipment for this. You know what I'm saying? Like use what you have and then you can always upgrade up as needed. But like in some of these things, if you can do it, like definitely like just do it. I think in some cases it's like it sort of almost depends. If it's going to be a big ad for TV, then yeah, you probably need a certain kind of mic, but a lot of stuff could be off of a Blue Yeti. You know what I mean? Explainer videos on YouTube, podcast intros, a lot of that stuff, and in a lot of these um, sorts of character things, a lot of them can be on a mic that's just like a USB mic to get started, that sort of thing. Eliana, and you can type it in if you want to. Um, do I forget, are you set up at all? The reason why I ask is, we want to have decent, decent sound set up for some of these castings because, the producer will take that into account because, if you could have Morgan Freeman, but if he's recording out of his bathroom, well, you're not going to be able to use him because the sound is too bad. Yeah, Eliana, just let me know if you have a studio set up, and that's as simple as a closet big enough for you to sit in, while you talk or something. It's not nothing fancy, but the anyway, that'll be. I'll make a post and like I'll get votes from people that are set up at all, but anyway, that to your point. Um, I think by being on social media, that's a big help. It helps you sort of get your name out there and attach a personality to your voice as opposed to just like Andrew, middle-aged adult male. Like, well, it would be great to have some notoriety about it. Like, no, let's, I could cast this, but I want Andrew Pickle because he's got that personality that I'm looking for, and he's got this YouTube channel or whatever. That can definitely help. The Eliana, yeah, you have a studio, but when I got my mic, I hit a wall. Okay. Um, if it's, I mean, you're welcome to ask it now. I mean, that kind of question is fine unless you just wanted some privacy about it or something. But you are welcome to ask it here. It doesn't have to. It could be outside of the realm of what we're talking about.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I got the Blue Yeti mic because I wanted to start with something small, but when I
Okay.
purchased the interface, I realized that my Blue Yeti is um a USB, and it doesn't attach into the interface box. And I was like,
Right.
oh no. I'm debating returning the Blue Yeti and like getting something better just because I, I can attach the Blue Yeti into my computer, but you talked so much about the interface that I was like, I really, really need that. So yeah, do you know if there's like a converter piece or should I really just update?
Well, you have two options. One is use the Blue Yeti, just plug it right into your computer and use it. That's how that one works. It just goes right into the computer and it works really good. It's not top of the line, but you can do 75% of the jobs that'll come your way, let's say, on it. Like it's a great mic. Another thing you could do is just sort of say, you know what, I got the interface. I'm gonna hang on to this until I buy an XLR mic, which goes, you hook your interface to your computer, and then you hook your mic to the interface with your XLR cord. So you could do that. You could say, well, I'll just use the Blue Yeti for now, and then I'll upgrade a little bit down the road. Or you could, like you said, you could send it back and just buy a new one. That's fine too. You're really, a Blue Yeti is a great mic. That's what I started on. That's what I started my career on. I had my first national commercial I recorded off of a Blue Yeti. Intro to Sunday Night Football that had 25 million viewers. Like it's a good mic. Like don't beat yourself up. Yeah, okay, Wesley, there you go. I think if you got a Blue Yeti, that is a fine mic. I would not worry about it. Although, to your point, I think it's good to aim for, I think a good mic would be like, let's say, Rode NT1, NT1A. That's a great one. I think they're around $250, something like that. This one right here is a Warm Audio WA47 Junior. And it works really well. And then if you're into music, so if you're a musician, it's really good too, because it has a very warm, it captures musical tones very very nicely. Whereas the Rode NT1 has, I think it's a little harsh on the music side of things. So it's really up to you. There's a lot of great options. You're welcome. Don't feel badly about, like, you know what, I'm just going to plug this thing right into my computer and I'm going to start doing a podcast, start doing stuff like that. And just, when you're ready, ask for one for Christmas or something. I don't know. Save your money or whatever. And then, of course, you can always have, I know most voice actors accumulate mics. I have several. And it's not, I didn't ever set out to, like, I need a lot of mics. 8 years later, I got several. And that's just how that works. So, and I love my Blue Yeti because it's really good for if I'm doing a podcast and I need to, I'm going, I've got some friends like, hey, let's talk about this piece of literature. I can set it in the middle of the table and turn it to the 4-way directional and just have a roundtable discussion without passing the mic around. And it's because it's picking up in every direction. So it's a great mic, and it's got some things. It's got some features that some of the other ones don't have. So, anyway, you do what you want to do, but I don't think you can go wrong, basically. You're welcome. I look forward to that. So that means that everybody in this room, including you, Andrew, I think, it sounds like, if you just set something up and do something, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I've got a mic. I forget, honestly, it's been so long since I got the thing. I don't even remember what the brand is or the model number. I know the audio interface is an M Audio something. It's
Okay.
a very simple little plastic everything box.
Right.
So I don't think it's snazzy, but it is something.
Right. I think for, like, here's one. I even have 3 interfaces. This right here, that's a audio box USB 96 by Presonus. If you know Oscar Corral, he recommended that to me one time. So I picked that up. I use right now a Focusrite 2i2. I've got a M Audio 2x2, which Andrew, you probably have the 2x2 or the Solo or something. But all you need is like one input in, one input out. You're not at church with the band. Like, you don't need a big one. It doesn't need to be fancy. You just need one in, one out, and you're good. So yeah. And then yeah, the Focusrite 2i2 is, I mean, it'll run. I mean, it's top of the line as far as, you can definitely spend more money than that if you want to, but that's a good, solid, widely used brand, Focusrite. And with the 2i2 and like anything by that company is good. And so yeah, so that's cool. I had so I was going to say, I have a challenge, and I'll post the particulars, but here's the challenge. 5 minutes or less. So this is not a long thing. 5 minute or less audio drama. There should be, the script should be either original or public domain, right? And what I mean by that is I literally have done audio dramas just reading the King James Bible, which is in the public domain, right? So like, you could do something like that if you want to. So either you wrote it, it's original, or it's public domain. You need at least 3 voices. You have to have a male and you have to have a female. Like, not audiobook where you're like Wesley, you're doing the girl voice. No. You have to get Blakely or Blakeney. You have to get Jody. You need an actual human female to voice that part, which the point is, you're working with someone. Now, like I said, it has to have at least 3. One of the voices could be the narrator, right? So if it's a narrator and then it's the story of Adam and Eve, whatever, I don't care. It needs 3 voices, one of which can be the narrator. And then it needs music, which is royalty free. So it could be original. You get a friend to do it. You could pull off a site. Basically, I want you to be able to post this to YouTube and not get a strike for copyright infringement, right? All right. And then it needs sound effects. So at your discretion. So that's it. And then the prize is what we'll do. And I would say we'll probably have give it about 30 days, something like that. And then whoever produces something, we'll post it and we will vote on it, right? And we might even I know votes are public. If someone's like, I don't really want to, like Blakeney's my best friend, but Wesley's was way better, that kind of thing. It can be a private vote. So I can tell you to vote something. We'll figure out a way to vote on it, right? I'm not saying that would happen, Blakeney. It was a funny analogy. And then so by vote, the winner, I'll send them a Blue Yeti microphone, right? So Eliana, that tells you, I mean, that's the grand prize, is the very mic that you have. Now, what let's say you already have one, and also because the prize is a microphone, we're going to assume that some people, it's like, well, I don't have a mic, so I can't do it. The reason why it's a Blue Yeti and stuff, we're going to say in the voting process, let's not take recording quality into account, because some people might have done it literally off of their iPhone in their closet. Okay, so we will judge it on storytelling. We'll judge it on the sound design. different things like that. But the actual voice, now the acting part, yeah, we'll vote on the voice acting, but I'm saying the quality, meaning do not let it's like, oh, I would love to do this, but I don't have a mic yet, and I'll just be recording off my phone. That's okay. Record it off your phone. We're not going to be judging off of the technical sound engineering quality, if that makes sense. And then the grand prize will get a Blue Yeti microphone, or all right, so you can, if you win it, what I'm going to do is drop ship it to you from Amazon. So if you already have a mic, what you can do is take pleasure in the fact that you won the grand prize and the laurels of victory, and then say, you know what, I already have a mic and I'm going to gift it to someone else, and send me their address and I'll send it to them. So you either get it, I'll send it to you and you can use it or give it away, or you can say, send it straight to this other person, and then we can do it like that. Either way, someone somewhere, the good Lord willing, will have a USB mic by Blue Yeti to start, continue their voice acting. All right. Any questions on that? Eliana, I think you can do all the voices yourself, except I would say, I guess what I meant to say, I probably didn't say it, make it clear. You have to have at least one male and one female part that are voiced by a actual female, actual male, right? The point is, I want you working with somebody. That's part of the fun is casting it, so feel free to put a casting call in the casting call tab. Like, if there's 10 casting calls, that's great. That means everybody's working on something. Say, hey, here's my characters. Here's what they need to sound like. I got 2 males, I got 2 females, and then I got the narrator. I'm going to do 2 of these parts. I really need whatever. So cast away. Does Blackie Bear count as a boy? I would say yes. But only Champ, only Blackie Bear. This, let's try to be strict with those 2 exceptions. But also you would have to work for, like, you could, if you're doing one yourself, I would say get at least one other person in your production. So if it's Betsy, Blackie Bear, and Champ, Andrew, Betsy has 2 puppets named Blackie Bear and Champ for context. So that's what she's talking about. The Jody, they do not need to be in the group. They can be, don't have to be. Get them from anywhere you want. And again, I'll lay out all the particulars and make a post and pin it. But yeah, so okay, Betsy, just got on. What challenge are we being given? A 5-minute audio drama with at least, where you work with at least one other person. It has to have at least 3 parts, one of which can be the narrator. And then you can't do all the voices. You have to work with somebody else. And then it needs music. And then it needs either original or open domain, public domain script. The music needs to, you need to be able to post it on YouTube when we're done. So that's part of the idea of this, is to post it to your YouTube channel. And if you haven't started your YouTube channel, I think you need to start. That will be where you can post it and it won't get a strike for copyright. So make sure the music is good. If you're Jacob Herbal, maybe you can like do your own composition or something. I don't know. Or maybe you get with Jacob and say, hey, I need some music, whatever. So just, you're limited only by your imagination. And then what was the other thing? It ought to have sound effects too, to some extent, And then, okay, Blake, can you collaborate with others on the production? Yeah, that's fine. You know, if you want to, that's totally fine. Totally fine. Absolutely. You could voice the sound effects. Like you could do all the sound effects yourself or do like an acapella. I mean, you could do acapella musical score where you're whistling the entire time. That's totally fine. But it needs to have music and it needs to have sound effects. And it could, like you said, it could be with you could do all the sound effects, but you have to work with at least one other voice. That'll be the catch. So it's not a complete one woman, one man band sort of thing. All right.
If I can throw in one more question, is there a
Yep.
minimum or maximum time limit?
I would say keep it under 5 minutes if you can. I mean, you wouldn't be penalized for going over, but it's just like, 5 minutes is sort of the, it doesn't need to be longer than that. Just a little scene, a little sketch.
Okay, so a little bit shorter is the target then.
Right. I mean, it could
Okay.
be 60 seconds, whatever. The
Okay.
goal is to work with one other person and then work on our skills of voice acting, sound design. I'm going to submit something, you know what I mean, that I'm working on. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. And there's a book by a guy named Damon John. There's a show called Shark Tank, and he's one of the sharks. He's a businessman. He's from somewhere in New York, Harlem or something. And he wrote a book called The Power of Broke. And so, it's about how being in a low budget environment literally forces good ideas. It squeezes good ideas out of you. So, Betsy, it's like, okay, well, how can we do this with zero expenditure? Let's say, well, I could whistle. I can make my own. I can get Blackie Bear to do all the sound effects. I don't know. Hey, Blackie Bear, do some sound effects. Okay. Whatever you want to do, just entertain us. Oh, hey, Mitch North in the house, everybody. And Mitch, if you do this, you have to work with somebody else. You can't do all the voices yourself. Even if it sounds exactly like someone else, we're going to know it has to be someone else. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So, I think, and I don't want to, put you on the laundry list of things that, give you responsibilities. But I would think, Wesley, if someone in the group were to say, hey, I've never done this, do you have any pointers? I'm sure Wesley could get you a few little tips or something for sound design. And we could even do a meeting soon and haven't even talked to you about this, Wesley, but like, okay, let's do a audio drama. What am I trying to do? You know what I mean? And kind of walk through that. All right. You were doing a voice, we're doing music. You're looking for these kind of things here. You know what I'm saying?
If it helps, I will say yes. If I could, it took me 6 years, but I would think after 6 years I retained something of what I learned.
Right.
So
I'm sure that is far beyond what a lot of us have done. Certainly myself. I've heard good audio drama, but I haven't made good audio drama. It's just like, I want to get into it, but I haven't done a lot myself beyond the voice acting part. And so, yeah. Yep.
Jake, you mentioned that you were working on an audio drama. I mean, besides the challenge.
Yes. This is one where I'm using the Bible as the script, but it's like I recently did the first chapter of Jonah. I don't remember if I posted that in the group, but I was the narrator, and then Nato Jacobson, Andrew Harvey, and Daniel Cross were the different characters. And then I had a friend of mine. Oh, Eliana, thank you. Good deal. I thought I did. And then I had a friend of mine do original music, and then I did the sound effects. And then, but the cool thing is, when someone listens to it, you're literally, the Bible says, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So listening to this audio drama, you're literally hearing the word of God being read to you, but the way that it's presented, it sounds like an audio drama, you know. And so anyway, that's one story I'm doing, and then I've done some other ones. I'm doing a story with the from Acts chapter 8 with the Ethiopian, the treasurer of Ethiopia, and I got my friend McDonald Nkimba, who's from Africa. He's an African voice actor, and he was like, what accent do you want? And I was like, can you do an Ethiopian accent? And he was like, yes, brother. And so he's the Ethiopian, and then my brother is Philip, and then I'm the narrator and the Holy Spirit. So I'm working on that, but it's just from the Bible. You know what I mean? I didn't use the script. I'm just pulling the script out and then soundscaping it and voice acting with it. So I am not eligible for the Blue Yeti, but I am going to submit it just because I want the practice reps myself. So yeah. Good deal. Anybody else got any questions? Anything to add? No, yes, maybe. Okay. Well, I will post, like I said, I'll post about it in the group. And then yeah, I would say if you're interested at all in that, get it going. And then as people post under the casting call tab, I'll ask that if you post a casting call, put it under the casting call tab. That way you can click that tab and get all of the casting calls and just go through and look at stuff that you want to do and audition for it. And I will say, if you're, if there's a 75-year-old grandma that smokes, and Andrew, that looks like a fun one, we'll audition for it, of course, because that might be the comedy of it. Have you ever seen what is that called? Turbo? It's I think it's DreamWorks, but it has Ryan Reynolds in it, Paul Giamatti. It's spectacular voice acting. Well, in it, there's a guy named Ken Jeong, and he plays this little elderly Korean lady, and he's just so funny. You can do something like that, right? We got Karate Kid over here. Look at this guy. What's up, Mitch? Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
Nice. Also on this, I think it would be fun to do a like a table read of something. It could be a play, it could be anything we wanted, and it's just we show up like this, and then we cast it. And then it could be as simple as, okay, I'll get this part. It's nothing, nothing to worry about. Just sort of whoever shows up, we divvy up the parts and then read through a story or a play. That is fun. I enjoy that kind of thing. And if anybody's up for that, I love that kind of stuff. That would be a Pride and Prejudice dinner where we're all trying to tolerate Mr. Collins would be a phenomenal play. Like Mr. Collins comes to dinner, and that's the audio drama. That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. Yeah, Mitch, super annoying Mr. Collins.
You're saying I'm super annoying? What is going on here? It's typecasting.
I don't know. I didn't say that. You did. No. No. Mr. Collins is one of the spectacular cringe characters of all literature. I love Mr. Collins and how ridiculous and unself-aware he is. But yes, that would be great. And obviously, if you have an idea that you want to flesh out, you can always post about it. Get people like, oh, let me help you with that. Like, I'll be a part of that. We could do this, whatever. Yeah, Blakeney, if we did a reading or something one time with like an original piece, Wesley, you were talking about people asking you about submissions. I mean, that would be cool to just sort of show up and do a reading. It's always fun. Yeah, it's always fun. Did you do a Shakespeare play? That would be, or a scene from a Shakespeare play. Because that's a whole nother type of thing, because you're saying the words with a certain attitude, and yet the words that your character's using you might not normally say, except you if you nail that attitude, though, it sort of opens up itself to you. Yeah, so Shakespeare would be fun. Man, this stupid thing, it's so hot in here.
It's because you're in the frame.
No, it's because it's hot as blazes in this place, and that little thing did not work. Putting the little cooler on top of it, which I tried to do, did not work. But anyway, yeah, I know, Jessica, you're just getting in here, but we were just talking about doing an audio drama contest where you produce your own, or yes, Blakeney, Macbeth. That's one of my favorites. Where we make a audio drama, and we do casting calls and get in on each other's and that kind of thing. And then we have a contest. Winner gets a Blue Yeti mic, or gifts it to a person of their choice. So you can either get it sent to your house and you give it to whoever you want, or you just give me an address and I will send it straight to that person. They could be in the group, they could be out of the group. It's your mic. You get to do what you want. So yeah. Yep. Well, I guess we'll call it a night on this, but I sure do appreciate everybody showing up. I am super excited about what people come up with, and that sort of thing. Yes, Much Ado. That would be well, Beatrice and Benedict. That'd be some good stuff. But yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll probably do a reading or something. I'll kind of go over something, and then we'll do a reading soon. Maybe later on this week or something. The Skool chat seemed to have not acted up tonight, so that's cool. I know they were working on it today. Last night, Jody and I were doing it, and it just kept kicking us off. But yeah, tonight it behaved itself, so that's cool. Excuse me. So, yeah, good deal. Well, y'all have a great night, and I will talk to y'all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Good night.
Yep, thanks so much. See ya.